Not to be dramatic, you guys, but with the NBA draft coming up, I think that there's some really interesting stories that are sort of going on. And the most interesting one that's kind of caught my attention is this thing with Ace Bailey, right? And how who's projected right now, I think, to go number 3 or possibly number 2. And just to give you a little background, there's been a little bit of sort of reluctance, let's say, from teams and from, scouts and general managers about whether or not Ace Bailey is the kind of player that a team should really pick that high up in the draft with the number 3 pick, let's say, because he might not be the kind of player who wants to come into a system like the Philadelphia 76ers, who have the number 3 pick in the draft, and be the kind of contributor that is willing to take a back seat to some of the other players that are already on the team. So obviously, if we're just using the Sixers example and Bailey came to the Sixers, he would be behind Joel Embiid. He would be behind Tyrese Maxey. He would be behind Jared McCain, their rookie from last year, and he would be behind most likely Paul George as well, right? And somebody like Ace Bailey, sort of fashions himself, from everything I've heard from scouts and, podcasts and things like that, as somebody who wants to be the number 1 option. So going to a place like Philly would kind of kill that dream for him, right? He might be an incredible role player if he goes to Philly, but he doesn't want to be a role player. He wants to be a star. And, unfortunately for him, it doesn't seem like most NBA teams, or a good amount of NBA teams, let's call it, I don't want to say most, a good amount of NBA teams agree with that. And there's just, it seems like there's a disconnect between the way that Ace Bailey wants to kind of dictate his career in the NBA and the way certain teams see him, being a contributor on their squads. And so with the Philadelphia 76ers, they might be having some, some skittishness around picking him because of the way that he's sort of going about his business and wanting to kind of be a star and all those kinds of things. And it like really hits on this tension between star and role player, right? And NBA prospects who are ready to go into the NBA, every single one of them on some level is a star, right? They wouldn't be in a position to be drafted into the NBA were they not top incredible basketball players.